This is a computer UPS transformer. This is the high voltage low current side, while this is the low voltage high current side. Now let's connect the 220 volts home socket supply to the transformer input wires, black and green. Next, connecting the multimeter pinouts to the transformer output. And here I have set it to DC, so setting it to AC. And here, as you can see, it is showing around 7 volts AC. Now here I'm going to use this 12 volts bulb to show you its performance. See, it's glowing. Now let's cut off the winding cover and proceed further. On close-up, you can see two terminals have double wires. So what I'm going to do is disconnect one wire of one terminal. Yeah, and here we have disconnected this one. After disconnecting the wire, carefully remove the insulation so that we can use it for testing. Doing it from all sides. Done. Similarly, for the second terminal, cut off one of the two wires, same as before, and if you are lucky enough, you will cut off the correct wire. Otherwise, there is one more step that will be required. So I chose a right side wire. Next, connect the 220 volt supply to the transformer input and turn it on. Now comes the part of finding out if I have disconnected the correct wire, and for that, simply short the new cutoff wires. If there is no sparking, then you were lucky. And if I would have cut off this wire, let's check. See, so I was lucky and I disconnected the correct wires. Next, take a copper wire, place it like this and cut it off as shown. After that comes the stripping part. A little more. Yeah. Similarly for the other side. Nice. Next, on the main wire as well. And its other side too. Done. Now, after completing the stripping on the sides, we have to do the same thing to the middle of the strand. And here it is. Done. Next, place the strand like this and twist it from the sides. Done. Next, take the longer wire and connect it to the center stripped part. Somewhat like this. After that, solder the center tapping point. Finally, connect this 220 volts supply to the transformer input. Done. Turning it on. And now testing the output voltage. First, taking the main terminal as the red one and the new point. And you can see the new voltage is around 7.3 volts. Moving on to the blue one. And we have around 14.7 volts. So this is the new voltage because I have connected the windings in series. Let's move on further. Next, we will need this wooden board for the base and this transformer. Now marking the drilling points. Done. Now let's drill a hole for the installation of the rectifier. Next, I'm going to use this KBPC 3510 bridge rectifier or AC to DC converter. Next, connect the red wire from the transformer output to the AC terminal of the rectifier. After that, measure this copper wire, same as the red one, and cut it off according to the length needed. Now time to strip the tapping wire. Now this red one was the first AC terminal, so the diagonal opposite is the second. So place the copper stranded wire, the center tap one, as shown. Done. Next, I'm going to use these red and yellow wires for the DC output. So let's remove the insulation. Next, soldering the positive red wire to the positive terminal of the rectifier. Yellow wire to the negative terminal. Next, strengthening all the rest joints. Next, I'm going to use this 20 watts DC to DC boost converter because it also has this voltage display that you can control with this potentiometer knob. Although you can use any DC to DC step-up boost converter with a voltage rating between 6 volts input up to 20 volts output. Next, connect the negative wire to the negative and positive to the positive. Done. After that, tight it all up. So this is the close-up for the output side, and this is the close-up for the input side, yellow and red wires. Next, I will be using these two wires as the final output. Red is going to be positive and black will be connected to the output negative. Finally, connecting the 220 volt supply to the transformer input and turning the switch on. You can see the display is turned on. Let's zoom in. Now here, as you can see, that it is flashing 8.4 volts DC output, and if I press this button, it is going to flash the input. So it is fluctuating, and all we need is the output here, and this is the potentiometer. So let's move up the voltage. Let's move to around 14 volts. That's it. We are done here. So this is my 12 volts, 60 ampere hours, very old battery pack that I made in one of my previous videos. It is lithium ion, and let me show you its voltage. It's only 7.9 volts, so it is very discharged. So let's charge it. Now the battery is lithium ion, so I'm setting my charger voltage to 12 volts so that I can get 4 volts per cell. Next, simply connect the negative wire from the charger output to the battery, and similarly positive to the positive wire of the battery, and your battery has started charging. Although my recommendation is going to be something like this, like instead of this boost converter, try using something bigger, like this one is 5 amps. Although I didn't use this one because this did not have a voltage display. Now you people must also be thinking, what is the use of this blue wire that I have spared here that is coming now? Although before moving on to that, I would like to share with you this issue with this boost converter. Now the negative terminal is connected, and once I connect the positive terminal, keep looking at the display there, and you see the display gone. Disconnected and it's on again, connected and it's turned off. Now this does not mean that the battery is not charging when the display goes off, and I will prove that also. Here I have my multimeter connected in the ampere measurement mode. One wire connected like this and the other one, and here you can see that it is drawing around 1.5 amperes. This battery is drawing 1.5 amperes, so the battery is charging even though the display is turned off. Now the next step is to cut off this blue wire and then strip it. Now let's remove this boost converter with a powerful one. So here I'm upgrading my battery charger with this 5 amperes DC to DC buck boost module. This is the input side, as you can see, IN in, and here we have the out. So let's do the connections same as before. Finally connecting the output, and we are done. Here I'm setting the output voltage to 12 volts, same as before. Now let's do all the connections and start the charging, positive to positive and negative to negative. Yeah, and finally it is working. Here you can see that it is drawing around 3.25 amperes and the voltage has quickly increased to 9 volts DC, and it has to go to as high as 12 volts for full charge. Also, if you want to keep using this boost converter for longer durations, make sure that you add a cooling fan. It will take around an hour because the battery was highly discharged. Next, this is a 100 ohms resistor. I will solder this resistor to this terminal. Next comes this 1N4007 diode. This will be connected to this point. Finally, disconnecting these wires once again. Now take another thin wire and connect its one end to the black output wire that we just disconnected. Next, connecting this black and white wire into the negative slot back as it was before, and the other end of this white wire will be connected to this point. Next, these what you see are two 6 amperes diodes connected in parallel. So the positive side, which is the black side of the diode, will be connected like this, only for one diode. Next, connecting this blue wire from the transformer to the other terminal of the diode. And finally, this last red wire, which is the overall output positive. Now, the reason for adding this blue wire, all these diodes and a resistor is for converting our normal basic charger into the advanced desulfating lead acid battery charger. And note that this charger can no longer be used for the lithium ion battery charging, and if you want to go for that, you will have to remove this additional setup once again, the blue wire, the diodes and this wire. Now if we check the voltage output of this charger, you can see that it is not much different from the previous one because we cannot see the hidden pulses that are coming out from the transformer. Like this meter cannot read it, and not even the most advanced ones can read it, but I'm going to show you that it is actually producing the highest voltage of around 19 volts DC. So for that I'm going to use this 50 volts 5000 microfarad Saracen capacitor. And let's short it first so that there is no charge left, and then finally the other terminal. And here you can see that our new voltage is 18.5 volts, and this high voltage is produced at a current of only 100 milliamperes just to revive a dead battery and not damage it with overcharging. Next, this is my 12 volts Amaron battery. And here I'm going to connect this bulb. See, it is not glowing at all. No sparking, indicating a dead battery. So here what I'm going to do is try to revive it with this pulsating charger. Negative to negative and positive to positive. Let's turn on the charger first and go. Okay, so that's the power coming from the power supply. The battery is still damaged. Now I'm going to leave it for some time like this and then see for final check. So here as you can see that in just 10 minutes the battery has gained enough charge to light up this bulb although the bulb is not glowing at its full brightness, but still it is glowing. And if I'm going to leave the battery connected to the charger for around 1 hour or two, it might even gain half or full charge depending upon the strength that is left in the battery.